Are we in? Is this happening right now?
You should say. Right. I think we should start off with you saying some sort of weird tagline or something like, always Ryan and Rizzo.
Now with the fresh scent of pine.
Yeah, and
I love pine.
And that's where we're rocking. Hi, it's Ryan and Rizzo.
It's episode 4. I'm so happy. I got it right this time. I even wrote it down.
I was sure it was 4, but then I just doubted every single thing, and that's what happens.
No, it's 4, and I am completely and 100% aware and knowledgeable that this is episode 4 because I wrote it down.
That is a handy thing. Also, we're recording it in a different way than normal. We'll be honest, it's Thursday. The video may come out before Sunday, but probably the audio still Sunday. But who knows? We got doing this early.
It's wild and crazy,
it's Thirsty Thursday with Ryan and Rizzo shooting the shit. So, fun stuff like that. Yay. Ha.
Yeah, speaking of prepping and getting things ready and being out of town, I talked to Ma Rizzo.
How is Ma Rizzo?
She's really good. I'll talk about her a couple times here in the show, but...
Does she approve of your speech of her?
Say again?
Does she approve of you speaking of her?
Oh, yeah. No, she's about it. And I told her, the more she says and the more she does just gives me more content for the show, which I'm all about, which is fine. So she, lovingly Ma Rizzo, we had a little chat before the start of the show, and she says, okay, break a tooth. Because I'm assuming it's like the break a leg as opposed to the acting and doing that sort of thing. And then she's like, oh, no. Get a canker sore. Thanks, Ma. That's really good. It's our well wishes. So
our well wishes are to either break a tooth or get a canker sore.
Uh-huh. Yeah, something mouth related, I guess. So.
Oh, because we're just jabbering. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Exactly. It's like the break a leg thing, but mouth specific, I believe. And so I just really appreciate that warm send off of, let's do this podcast.
Don't have Wi-Fi bars.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. Yeah.
Don't have any, have opened up USB ports. I'm sorry. I'm trying to modernize it, but it's not working whatsoever.
It's okay. That's all right. I just really honestly hope that neither of us ends up with a broken tooth or a canker sore.
That would be weird.
But thank you for the well wishes, Ma. Appreciate you.
If Ma Rizzo accidentally cursed us, that 2020 at its finest.
Which
ding, 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 ding.
She did just level up, so that might actually be something on the witchery.
Does she weigh more than a duck?
Depend upon the size of a duck, but I'd probably say yes.
Okay, all right.
Maybe,
well,
I don't know.
Well,
unless it was one of those giant ducks they have in those lakes around, and people see them.
Now, if she goes to a lake and if she floats, probably a witch. Just saying.
Okay, I'll have to ask her about
that. Just saying.
She's not, you know what? Actually, this is interesting because she's not particularly keen on bodies of water.
Mm-hmm.
You may have come up with something, Ryan. You're a genius.
That's how it works.
So anyways. How was your week? I know it's a little shortened. Yes, it is Thursday.
It's been, busy work.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of play, but not really. I mean, play, but different style. I've been playing a lot with a MIDI keyboard, so that's been kind of fun to play with as far as making noise with my computer and whatnot. That's been enjoyable.
About that.
Yeah. Otherwise, not too much.
Did you celebrate National Ice Cream and National Daiquiri Day?
Not Daiquiri Day.
Show.
Ice cream, yes. We had some ice cream from a few different locations, I think. Just had the craving throughout the week. It's like they've gotten to my head. It's like, you will have ice cream.
Smart. I like that.
You will have another pint of ice cream. Okay? If you say so.
That's what the voices say to me, too. And that's just any day. So.
True.
Yeah. And then, so that was the 19th. That was the last show. And then the 20th was National Moon Day. I'm assuming we're talking lunar type.
Did you see the moon?
Body.
Huh?
I'm just saying.
It was
they had
probably
National
there.
Nude Day. So I thought maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. And then National 22nd. July 22nd is National Hot Dog Day. and it's National Ma Rizzo Day. That's her birthday. It was her birthday yesterday. So
nice.
I know she turned 29 again. Had a nice little celebration.
Did she have hot dogs on National Hot Dog Day?
No, we had
missed opportunity.
It's okay. She's not particularly a hot dog connoisseur, as opposed to short stop. She's totally
round.
Too much the Ma Rizzo. Stop.
Short round. It is short round.
I'm just gonna say stop. No, we had birthday donuts that morning.
Nice.
They're like the ones with the fun stuff. Like short stops had Lucky Charms on the top and sprinkles and all that stuff. And I had one with Nutter Butters because that was delicious.
Interesting.
Peanut butter.
Sounds
and
tasty.
Then, we had some local chicken place that does really good chicken sandwiches and chicken. What?
Like a local chicken. It's like from down the block or like 2 houses over.
I mean, it's
Okay,
a short
gotcha.
drive. It's not too bad. Yeah.
Okay.
So we had those and so we got to enjoy that for dinner. And she was
tasty.
basically with us the whole day, and it was awesome. So we got to spend time with her and get to celebrate her kind of in a low key way, which is what she likes. And we had a great time. And I'm hopefully I did the day right by her. So,
Well, she did curse you and me. So.
And today, I guess maybe I didn't do
Guess we'll find out.
Do it right because she just asked me to get a canker sore, so maybe not.
Yeah,
happy birthday, Ma. Sorry. Ugh. Yeah. So, what else? What about you?
That's kind of. I mean, I'm kind of quite boring midway through the week, really. But I did want to.
You don't ramp up till Friday.
Oh, yeah, it's true. There's something did happen, but I was going to bring it up later on. So, and the gaming stuff. Yeah.
We'll wait on that. I'm excited.
But tell me about this thing that you told me about. That's very descriptive what I've just said right there. You're
talking about the Enneagram
chart,
test. Yeah, I got you. I know what the thing is. Yeah, we're good.
What thing is that thing?
So
what thing are you?
Well, you'll find out. Okay, so I went to a website. It's called Truity.com, TRUITY.com. And they do a lot of different personality tests, kind of the conglomerate of them, like Myers-Briggs and things like that. And they have one called the Enneagram. And so do you know what an Enneagram is? That's okay. It's a 9-sided figure.
I was going to say it's a shape. Star Trek.
Yes. Yeah, it's a 9-sided shape, basically, that's used as like a systematic model to analyze like particular sets of data, basically. And then in this case, it's the spectrum of personality types, which there are 9. So the test itself took about 15 minutes, like on its longest time. And you're answering a series of questions, 6 or 7 pages worth. And it's a 1 to 5 scale of whether or not you find the certain statement to be accurate.
Okay.
So, not at all accurate, somewhat accurate, those kind of things. So the
Offensive.
9, what?
Sorry.
What?
Offended.
So the 9 kinds of Enneagrams are perfectionist, giver, achiever, individualist, investigator, skeptic, enthusiast, challenger, and peacemaker. So 2 of the, I'm just looking at and I apologize, I'm looking at my percentages. So 2 of the 9, I actually scored 90% or above on, and I want you to guess what those 2 are. Do I need to read them to you again?
Yes.
Okay. Perfectionist.
Okay.
Giver. Achiever. Individualist. Investigator.
Maybe.
Skeptic.
Yes.
Enthusiast.
Okay.
Challenger. And peacemaker.
What was the second to first one again?
The second one was giver.
Challenger and achiever.
Those are the 2 I got the worst on. Achiever was 46% because that's just not even like in my DNA anymore. And Challenger was 50%. That's funny. That's good.
So what were your top 2?
My top 2 were giver, and giver was actually 98%, which is kind of crazy, but it's unsurprising. And then individualist was 91%. Okay. So basically it's saying that I am like really out there and I'm full of emotions, which I'm like, yeah, pretty much on the nose.
Fun.
So because of that, that technically means, Ryan, and you can do with this what you will, that I'm a number 2. So, I mean,
number 2.
Yep. Just saying, that's what it is. And it says 2s love to help the people around them. They intuitively perceive when others need their support, and they offer it unconditionally, which is true. Like loyal. It's very Hufflepuffy. Like we've talked about this before. Number two.
Number 2.
They are skilled at seeing the good.
So when I take my cat into space, you're going to run the whole show on your own, correct? Number 2.
Number 2.
Number
That's
2.
Right. So you're skilled at seeing the good in people, and 2s praise warmly, and they're always ready with a kind word and a listening ear. They have a knack for making other people feel like the most important person in the world.
Ah, that's lovely.
Except for you. There you go. And then they do this one section, because I just did like the free test, so there's not, all the in-depth whatever. But the other part is the superpowers. Yes, of your personality. And two of my 3 were caretaking and emotional awareness, which, trust me, I am very aware of my emotions.
Let me tell you about my emotions today. That's fun.
Did you say what? Yeah. Just verifying and just making sure that the emotions are there. So, yeah. So I'm a number 2.
Awesome.
And I have my thoughts about what you are, and I'm interested to see when you actually take your test. Take your test.
Why don't you just
take a test?
What is your prediction? And so we can like time stamp it to now, because I haven't touched it. I honestly, good. I think I may have pulled up the link in my phone.
Did you already do it?
And then hit the back button because I didn't feel like doing it at the moment. Because I have done this sort of thing before, where I've done this a few years ago for like a job assessment, like,
right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Answer these questions. I mean, these are glorified versions of what's on Facebook of what's your color. It's just more questions and maybe more in depth and a few more algorithms.
What's your favorite topping of nacho? It's like the same thing. Yeah, I know.
If you're that lucky.
Okay. So okay. Can I at least?
But yes, I will do it just so you can see what you believe.
All right. I think I'm going to, can I guess 3 at least?
Yeah. I'll give you 3.
Okay. So I'm going to say, challenger.
Schmuck. Oh, okay.
Skeptic.
No.
And investigator. So 5, 6, and 8.
Basically Batman.
Because you're definitely not an enthusiast.
What?
And you're definitely...
What? I am enthusiastic about many a things.
Let me just say, if you and I are anything alike, I'll be shocked. And this is why this kind of works, because it's just the yin and the yang, man. So...
True.
My number 2 to your... Not number 2. You could be Dr. Evil. Aw, so that's perfect.
That's what I was going for earlier.
That's good.
I just have to pick a cat.
I was there with you. See, I was loyal and I was ready. Just wasn't quite there. Again, that's very Hufflepuffy.
You'll have to take over everything. See, I don't know what I would be in Potter. I'm not evil enough to be Slytherin. I'm not jockish enough to be...
Slytherins aren't evil, and I've understood this. Understand this a little bit more.
So it's high school. Who are the loner groups?
Well, were you smart?
Define smart.
Because that's Ravenclaw. I mean, Ravenclaw is like the loner smart guys. Were you like loyal to your friends and also kind of a loner?
Yes.
Then you're a Hufflepuff. Okay. That's what I am. So, yeah, like undying loyalty.
Sup, Harry.
And a derpy brain. Hi, that's me.
Got your back, Harry.
I'm Rizzo. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we've had 5 classes together, Harry.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm saying investigator, skeptic, and challenger.
What is challenger again?
Well, I didn't really explain it because that was the one I was the second lowest on.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's doesn't really go with the status quo kind of thing, and just is always trying to like change up things and figure out like how to do things differently and to whatever like works for them. So I
maybe like I based off that description, I would think of a way to do it better. but nah, probably not do it.
That's why you're not. That's why you're not a achiever or a perfectionist.
I don't know. Because at work, I am known at work for it'll be like, oh, you found out a new way of doing something. I'm like, no, I actually made it easier on me and thus everyone else to do it this way.
Sure. Just saying.
Life easy maker.
I'm going to, actually, I'm going to mark them down.
Mark them down.
Though this is, okay.
Yeah, go ahead and write them down. Have written evidence.
And you're totally a skeptic. If that's not one of your highest, then I'm quitting.
If it's the one that is middle ground every single time, then yeah, because I'm very much a gray. I pondered the questions too long. It's like hamburger or hot dog. I'm like, well, let's think about this for a minute. What time of day is it? What day is it? What was my day like? How many more ways can I say day?
Speaking of hamburgers and hot dogs, that's a really, really, really good segue. Because we have to talk about what we've been watching, reading, and listening to.
Oh, yeah.
And I continued on my Crazy Delicious journey this week. And I want to sort of go through because one of the items
no spoilers. No spoilers.
What?
I'm just saying.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
No
You're
spoilers,
gonna watch.
yo.
Aw, attaboy.
Well,
okay.
No, not necessarily that I'll watch, but
if people are, you're right.
You
that's
should
true.
entice people.
Anyways.
As
so
in
again.
Me. But I might watch it just because I really want to see if the food tastes good. But at the same time, I feel like it's fluff. But I'll find out.
Oh no, it has substance. I mean, you could check and see. It's very whimsical.
Okay.
So again, 3 rounds. Transform is that 60-minute round at the beginning where you have the one star of the show item, and then in the ones I watched, it was mushrooms, strawberries, and carrots. So it was like 3 different episodes.
Okay.
And then the second round was the reinvent. And this was the 90-minute round where you just kind of take one meal and you turn it on its head, basically. And that was grilled cheese sandwich, hot dogs, and hamburgers. So I was like, hey, hot dogs and hamburgers. There you go. So, and then the third is the final feast. That's where you get rid of somebody after the second round. Then the 2 work for 4 hours to create this massive feast based on a concept. And the first one that we watched was takeout. The second one was like a picnic, kind of spread. And then the third was a birthday feast, which was sort of fun because we watched it on my Rizzo's birthday. We watched that one yesterday, so it was perfect.
Nice.
And I've decided that Crazy Delicious is the product of if Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Alice in Wonderland, and Chopped had a baby, like all 3 of them together, and then a baby came out, that's what it would be.
To me, it sounds like the sci-fi reality show Face Off combined with Hook with Robin Williams.
Yeah, Face Off is the one. Is that the one with the
effects,
the artistry? The special effects. That looks so cool.
Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. Yeah,
for one of the birthday feasts, I thought it was sort of cute. They did a play on surf and turf. They called it Birth and Turf, which was kind of now that I'm saying it out loud, it's a little weird, but
that brought up a horrible image in my mind. I don't know why, but
Birth and Turf. Yes. So the cake itself was lobster mac and cheese.
It was a baby.
But the burgers that they birthed were a deep fried peanut butter patty. So it was like the savory was the actual sweet element, and then the cake itself was like the savory. It was kind of
interesting.
All right, what have you been watching?
Still been playing. Not playing. I've been watching The Office, working on that, and enjoying that. The wife's been asking so who do you relate to, or who do you think you are? Because she was like, I feel like I'm a combination of so and so and so and so and so and so.
Are you sure she's not saying who do you think you are? Or
no, she did ask that, but she told me who she was.
Got it.
And then, but it took me a while, so I think I'm more like I'm a Dwight Jim hybrid, to be honest.
Dwight.
Dwim.
I like Dwight better.
Dim. Dwight.
You're not dim. You're bright. Okay. I like Dwight better.
So, anyways, it's kind of reflective. But still working on The Office. Another show, I don't know if I've mentioned this or not, but Crazyhead, I believe it was on BBC America, or may have just been something BBC, but it's on Netflix. And it is paranormal. Two girls who can see demons, like demons look like everyday people, but except to them, they can actually identify them as demons. It's kind of it's kind of quirky fun.
And that's not just some random, they're like, they don't like that person, so they're like, you're a demon. You're a demon. Definitely my ex-boyfriend's a demon for sure.
No.
Guy that...
Not that we know of.
That me over. Yeah.
You never know what some writer someday, they could be like, hey, let's change it up. You know.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, still working on Star Trek Next Generation as just something mindless on the background. You know.
Yeah.
It engages my mind.
I'm interested because I have a few books to talk about this week too, but I want to talk with you about the book you're reading. So
book I'm reading. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it says you're working through with the missus. You're working through 1984. Is that correct? Oh,
yes. Sorry.
Otherwise known as, we put that in the nonfiction section now.
What? No. It's a different year.
We're living it. Anyways, so what do you think of it?
This sounds bad. Been kind of bored.
Okay.
Here, but this is also
it's mundane when it's everyday life as opposed to science fiction. Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I don't know. It's bored because it sounds, when my wife and we share a book, we read to each other. We go back and forth.
You are so cute.
1984. We've been working on it for a while because of me. She is a fast reader. She will get through a book in 2-3 days if she needs to, and she does. And
yeah,
a lot of those that's one of hers. One of her bookshelves. Yeah, sorry, I'm pointing to something in. We have an audio version of this cast. But for our nighttime read, when we actually do it, we're currently doing 1984, and it's just kind of been meh, but we haven't been switching off as much because I've been lame about it. But I did pick it up the other day and read some of it, and I realized, oh, okay, this is quite intriguing. It's intriguing, but we've been saying it's been 1984 for years, and yet we're still very loyal to certain things. And for those who are not watching, our phones. Which I hope you're enjoying Ryan and Rizzo on. That's
right. The McWillie
but yeah, it's
podcast network.
It's been interesting.
Okay.
I don't think it's I think it's going to get better as I engage with it more. I'm very weird when it comes to reading though. So it's just, I mentioned that I was like, oh yeah, we're doing this. And it's more of a way, if I say it out loud, maybe we'll actually finish it because and
it's good to branch out other than ones that have a few words in all the pictures too, which is good.
We don't do many picture books. That's hard to read.
That's true. Yeah, you have to come up with the ideas and stuff. Yeah. No, we're doing quite a few of the kiddo type of books in our house just because that's where we get most of the entertainment from. But
nice.
We are finishing up a series with Shortstop called The Doll People. That sounds a little 1984-ish too, I know.
It's The Doll People.
No. So it's by author Anne M. Martin. And she read the first book they read in her class right before school ended, basically. And her teacher, her second grade teacher, read it on Zoom for the class so they could enjoy like a nighttime, like a bedtime story.
Right.
From her, which is kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. And it's awesome for that kind of middle to upper elementary age. And it is about dolls, but it has lots of adventure and really unique kind of aspects to it. And we're about halfway through the fourth book, the last book in the series, and Shortstop's just kind of like, please make it last. So we're trying to kind of ease through so that the narrative doesn't quite end. But
then they said,
exactly.
Fine.
Yeah.
Stretching it out.
So the ironic thing about that is, thinking, okay, Anne M. Martin, like great author, really enjoyed her work, and thinking into some things for like next series and stuff like that kind of ties into what I'm watching, because I finally watched Babysitter's Club. shortstop, and I watched 2 episodes. And again, she's so cute with like the preservation thing. We watched the first episode and she didn't really want to watch it. It kind of reminded me of when you were talking about Never Have I Ever, how you kind of just walked by and you're like, oh, that's cute, or whatever. And I got about, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes into the first one because I said, you know what? If you don't want to watch with me, I want to be able to, talk to Uncle Ryron about it. So I'm going to watch a couple of episodes.
That's your excuse. That's your excuse.
I mean, if
I want to watch the show. That's all you have to say.
Tired of waiting for you.
Let mommy have this.
Were you listening to our conversation? That's rude. No, so I watch it and she kind of walks by and she's like, and she was hooked. I mean, from that first 2 minutes. And so we were watching
through. I like
and
babysitters.
She did not want to watch the second one because she wanted it again, to preserve it. Well, I want to wait to another day to watch it so I can,
spread it out.
Exactly.
Nice.
She wanted to spread it out and enjoy it. And I have to tell you though, I was excited about it, but they were fantastic.
Okay, good.
Really, really well done. That kind of, again, middle, upper elementary, tween, preteen age. That is a perfect show. And, even I got a lot out of it because it talks a lot about relationships and things like that. And it's topics that are everyday that everybody's going through, in some form or fashion. And it was awesome. Highly recommend.
Okay.
Especially if you have kiddos in that age range, not just girls, but also boys.
The Babysitters Club.
And Anne M. Martin is the author of the Babysitters Club. So there you go. It was this whole circular thing. And
nice.
Oh, she's great. Oh, she also wrote the entirety of the Babysitters Club series. Okay, good to know.
It's fun when you find out connections about that with authors. I've mentioned Michael Crichton before.
Yeah.
Michael Crichton is, and I know this at the time, but he's behind the TV show ER.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote Westworld, the movies, and those have spawned off into the HBO TV series and stuff like that. But just cool stuff like that. It's oh, rock on.
It made me feel good about the consumption because it's okay, well, that's quality. This is good. Oh, she actually writes these same ones that we're gonna, probably look into for her as we start moving along to some different stories. Since they're, still teenage girls, and that might be a little too much for her at this age, but something to kind of work into. So we excited.
And when it's the same author, that's always great. I mean, that happened. Did you happen to watch? I haven't watched it for a while, but The Tick on Amazon on Prime.
No, any good?
Yes.
Oh my,
it's fantastic.
When Ryan makes that face, it's got to be good.
Yeah, really love the fic because it was the original writer from the comic, and I also believe the TV show that was on Fox. Different cast, but it was really good. Highly recommend that for great dumb fun.
Okay,
thoughtful dumb fun. Yeah, The Tick.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good.
Justice has a hold on you, and its arms are blue. But
is that the tagline?
It's not that exactly. He says dumb things, but more clever than that, of course.
I like it. It's good.
Yeah. Since I mentioned Prime real quick, I enjoyed season 1 of The Boys. I watched that a while back. Season 2 is coming out soon. So looking forward to seeing horrible superheroes.
I heard that's excellent.
It is. I enjoyed it.
Better than the Umbrella Academy.
In the same vein. I have marathoned The Boys. I have not marathon the Umbrella Academy, which I enjoy the Umbrella Academy. The Boys is really good. The Boys is very dark. Okay. And I like that dark take. Umbrella Academy, it isn't, Umbrella Academy would, from what I've seen, is kind of a, dark team Avengers, X-Men, one of those type things.
Yeah, right. Like the misfit superheroes that are the younger kids kind of thing.
Yeah, and the unfortunate lives they had. This is just kind of dark to begin with.
Got it.
I enjoy it though. Yeah.
We'll have to check that out.
I recommend it.
Excellent.
So, that's good. Let me know what you were nominated for or selected to or chosen on behalf of the great god that is known as Bookface.
Yes. Again,
your
folks,
sacrificial album.
It is just an honor to be nominated. This is the, all these random things I have on Facebook during this quarantine of whatever. And it's the 10 albums that you have in your life that have made the most impact. And I came up with 20 because, again, never been a rule follower, very seldom. So And I love music, kind of obsessed. I'm wearing
my music. You do. It's true.
I'm wearing my New Kids on the Block shirt today too. One of my New Kids on the Block shirts, I should say. Let's just be honest.
So let's see. I've got to choose a number.
You did 13 and then you did 19.
13 and 19.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with 6.
Oh, we're getting higher up on the list. 1,
we're just bouncing around.
4. Oh, bless your heart. You did it. 1,
bless
2,
your
3,
heart.
4, 5, 6. Okay. This would have been good a couple weeks ago. Here we go.
No,
let's
go it's good now.
The random Rizzo rabbit hole, I guess. That would be Queen's Greatest Hits 1 and 2, because I couldn't decide between the two of them, and they have kind of like a double album. There's a purple navy colored one, and then there's a maroon colored one, and they have the Queen logo that Freddie designed with the zodiac signs, with the crab and the lion and everything. It's really cool.
Oh, that does sound cool.
And
hand drawn. How did he design it? Sorry, I'm a hand drawn.
Yeah, that's actually when he was in college. He was doing design. He was in college for design. Mm-hmm.
Rock on.
So
the more you know.
And it was released. This is kind of an interesting thing, and I'm sure that they did this by, for reasons that we didn't know at the time. But it was released in late October of 1991, and then Freddie passed away like 3 weeks later. From his AIDS, from his AIDS diagnosis. He, came out with the news the day before. He died November 24th, 1991, and he had the announcement on November 23rd. So,
wowzers.
Kind of, yeah. But this is, again, and we kind of talked about this with Phil Collins last week. So yeah, we just sort of ebb and flow with these things. But this was, again, one of those things I listened to in my car. And I remember the tapes, like the cassette tapes. For those of you that don't know what a cassette tape is, but we would, listen to them in my mom's car. And there's just, again, one of those things where I remember we got into it, especially right after he had passed. And so, what you doing over there? Is there a cat on your lap?
No, I was seeing if I had cassette tapes.
Okay, there you go. I
do not.
I'll go grab one. Actually, hold on, ready?
I feel like if it's within arm's reach.
Bam.
There we go.
There you go, kids. Yes, I have
There's a film inside of the plastic.
I know it even has the...
You put the plastic inside something that's metal.
And then you have a
bigger device. It's much larger than your iPod.
Slick.
iPhone, Samsung, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Continue, sorry.
Boombox. No, that's okay. Yeah. And then you have your pencil nearby just in case you need it to resuscitate the cassette tape. And I mean, with Queen's Greatest Hits, it's all the songs you heard on the radio. It's the songs you heard in concert, that sort of thing. So it's not any I wish I was being unique with, deep tracks or something like that, but I'm not, because it's just one of those kind of quintessential classics for them. And it just kind of gives you a really good view of what was really popular for them. And I was never, even now to this day, my go-tos aren't We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Those just aren't my cup of tea.
Not your jam.
Not so much. I love them, but are they, my number ones? Not so much, but it's good to have just those different things. And I love Queen. I love Freddie. I love how all four of them was, of course, Freddie Mercury, Brian May is the guitarist, Roger Taylor is the drummer, and then John Deacon was their bass player. That they all wrote, they all had incredible minds for that sort of thing. And, they all played their part. Really, it was very equal between the four of them, even though Freddie was that kind of, boisterous, over the top, larger than life front man. But they just worked together so well. And I could go on and on and on and on about Queen. I will stop at this point because there is another Queen album on this list, which maybe we'll get to next week. But
who knows?
Queen's Greatest Hits, man. It's always a good way to go when you're
volume 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
It's Queen's Greatest Hits 1 and 2. Because I thought it was because there's also one called
Were they
Classic
sold
Queen.
Separately or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they were. I think they had a double-sided thing or a 2-disc set or a 2 cassette thing, but they were separate entities of themselves. So they just were released simultaneously. And they had Classic Queen, similar, but not as in the depth of all the songs that were really enjoyable. So thanks for asking. And again, it's just an honor to be nominated.
I'm glad it's good that you're sharing your musical history. That's what people want to know. And
it's why,
you made the list of 20 just to be like, hey, I've got 20 albums. I don't think I have 20 albums. So.
Who, you?
Yeah, I have a lot of singles. But I don't even have singles because I don't have anything locked down.
Well, I was thinking about that too, because when this is done, I think we should either move on to movies and just go back and forth and do like our favorites, maybe top 5, top 10 or something, and just go back and forth. Or go into Ryan's list of, or maybe it could be I'm looking behind you, comic books, or those kind of things.
Stop looking behind me.
The Joker and his cat are just staring at me, and then there's like it just says men, because you can't see the X, so it just says men behind Ryan's face. I don't know what that. Oh, hey, look, X. Hey, there's an X. Cool. What is that? Is that what's his name? The one that throws the cards, Gambit, right? No. Is that right?
On the X-Men here?
Yeah. No. Who's the one? So who's the one right under the X?
Right under the X, that is Cyclops.
Oh, Cyclops. That would make sense. He has glasses on.
It is dark and over there as well.
That's okay. I was like, some guy. Yeah, I was like, other than like Wolverine and like Professor X and Storm and things like. Oh, thanks. Yeah. So who's the one? Yeah. So I know those people, but I really, honestly, am not an X-Men
on
person.
The left side, that is Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Angel, Iceman. On the right side, right here.
Yeah, I got you.
Colossus, Storm, Nightcrawler, Banshee, and Wolverine. In the middle is Professor Xavier throwing a fit.
As he does.
Yeah.
See, this is exactly why.
Not in the wheelchair, standing.
I dub the next type of this needs to be your comic influences.
I could probably find some comic influences.
I'm thinking you might, and I think that'd be really interesting to get into the psyche of Ryan.
Let's get nerd up in here.
That's right. After we do your Enneagram and prove that I'm right.
Yeah.
Then we'll go on to your comic stuff.
Then I'm a challenging nerd. Speaking of.
And I'm what was it again? See, I can't. I'm a bubble-headed emotional person. Yeah, so pretty much.
Was that in your Enneagram? I didn't see that. Where did that come from?
I paraphrased.
And now with Rizzo's inner voice.
That's right, exactly.
That's
fine. That I'm remember, because I'm crazy. I'm individualist. I'm just like, ooh, I'm weird. Okay. And also, weird and crazy is what it is.
Weird and crazy. So. Okay.
Unique and in touch with my emotions. That's the
I'm artistic. Artistic. I'm going to blow through the entertainment news. I will have the links up and I'll prop up the pictures and whatnot, but some fun stuff. I'm a child of the... So we're born in the 80s, but what are we, the 90s really? Because I remember the 90s. Okay.
I think so. I mean, because you were 10, basically, right?
Yeah, around there.
And I was 7 at that time, yeah. So
fun threequel. Bill and Ted 3 announced that it's going to be releasing...
Ted Face the Music.
Face the Music. It's going to be releasing in theater and home as well via streaming on, I think it's September 1st.
Yes, I have something to say about that, just because I think that the theaters, like, I get that this may be a dying thing because, like, just like drive-in theaters kind of took their toll, like, you know, with some of these theaters, if they could figure out an alternate way to, I'm not sure how they would do that with the programming, like, because everyone's a little bit up in arms right now because the streaming stuff is being so successful. Like, I was reading in that article you sent me about how the releases of some of these movies during like COVID have done so much better as just streaming. It's just amazing that they, you know, did better than they would in just like a general release. They said Invisible Man was one of them, and then Trolls World Tour was one. And I'll tell you, we got it the day it came out to rent because I mean, why not? You're home
I
with
watched
your kids.
a few. I paid for a few movies I was going to wait for just because they popped up early, and I was like, all right, we'll do that.
And if you add in, you're like, okay, popcorn and drinks and whatever else. Like,
I mean,
same name. Yeah, you're not in a crowded theater with a bunch of people talking.
You're paying for an experience, and like the talking experience, that's kind of gotten better for us, luckily, just because we've had some more options. Like Alamo Drafthouse is near us, and then we have local theater, which kind of has some similar roles, but
nice
and it's better sound. But when you go to the theater, you're paying for that experience of the the big screen, the loud sound. But as you've kind of said, we kind of have that now at home. I mean, not everyone has the big screen, but a lot of people have the big screen. I mean, I personally have a decent, it's an old screen, but it's a big screen, and I have a great sound system to go with it. Or to me, it sounds great for the two people. So
and me not sitting next to a stranger for 2 hours where I don't know where they've been or what they're doing.
Put up their phone.
I have had that before myself. Yeah. And I just think it's an interesting thing to see that. And I love that Bill and Ted are the kind of the guinea pigs that are going to be the one doing this, but the simultaneous release once things start to open, because I really do think that we're still like in this whole wave one thing. And there are going to be a lot of places that are open.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of places that are not. So,
and that's kind of the thing too. Like, with the bigger films like Tenet, and I forget what the other one is, they can afford to disperse, this country over here, this country over here.
Yeah.
Distribute. Thank you.
Right.
But the smaller ones, meh. But yeah, we kind of, I look forward to it because I will probably rent that because
we will day one.
I grew up watching that, and I've continued to watch Bill and Ted and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey as I've gotten older. So,
and the thing about that, well, I guess it's just that in the sequel currently is, it's very simple when you come down to like the time traveling, trying to figure something out to like fix their modern lives, whatever. But it holds up. There's a lot of those movies that were kind of around that time, and you're like, that was so cheesy and whatever else. But then you watch it and you're like,
this is dumb. Dang, okay, but why not?
That's pretty good. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because they establish you guys are the heroes in the long term. It's like, all right, apparently something happens. I mean,
okay, so we need to move on. I want to talk about this. Speaking of movies, I've got to talk about Dave Franco.
Okay, you can talk about the Dave Franco and his Ice Baby
to the extreme. That's
interesting.
The new,
the biopic for Vanilla Ice.
Biopic. I can't.
I wonder if it'll have the scene with a cut of actual Ron Jeremy when they were in the celebrity house thing for VH1. Vanilla Ice and Ron Jeremy were in a season together.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Jordan Knight. Jordan Knight was in there too.
Oh, okay. And Vanilla Ice freaks out at Ron Jeremy because Ron Jeremy betrayed his trust and everything. I want Franco to act that out.
Oh man!
And just have cut to Ron Jeremy going, "I'm sorry, sorry." So I just want to win.
I'm pretty sure it's said a little bit before that.
Oh,
but because it says, I'm just going to read the little excerpt.
That was a while ago. I'm just saying.
Yeah. It says, from a high school dropout selling cars in Dallas to having the first hip hop single to top the Billboard charts with Ice Ice Baby, a young, there's the keyword, Vanilla Ice struggles with stardom, extortion attempts, and selling out as he makes music history.
Interesting.
If the Ninja Turtles aren't a part of this movie, I don't want to see it.
Go Turtle, go Turtle, go Turtle.
Go Ninja, yeah. Go Ninja,
no,
go Ninja,
you're not going to kill this for me. Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You were correct.
Yeah. Get your the secret of the ooze.
You've still got it. I've lost it though.
I cannot wait to see that, and I love Dave Franco just as he's almost really good at a character actor because he does the doofy fun haha whatever guy good, but I think he's gonna really nail Vanilla Ice. So
look forward to that.
Yeah.
One thing I look forward to more, though, just because I love these two guys. Nick Frost, Simon Pegg joining together for Truth Seekers, which
gonna be good
they just kind of did a first image of, but it kind of looks like the trailer that they used in Paul, but Nick Frost was sitting on the opposite side. But yeah, paranormal researchers, stuff like that. I don't care what it's about. I will see it.
So I looked at the stills from that article that you had posted, And they look intense. Like they look really, really good. Because I'm thinking of like Hot Fuzz, and I think of Shaun of the Dead because I talked before about how I'm really not into horror, but that was pretty good. Like that was fun.
Shaun of the Dead's great
kind of thing. Yeah, and I don't know did you look at the stills? Do you look at the pictures at all? I
just looked at one. I don't want to. This sounds dumb. I don't want to see much.
Okay, well, there's one where there's someone that's I'm in a hospital bed.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think that's going to give anything away. And there is this creature of some kind. And I'm like, I don't care who you are, but like whatever bed you're in. But I certainly wouldn't want to be in a hospital bed when something like that was looking at me, because that scared me just looking at this still. So it's like, that's
rock on. Good. I will check that out. I'll probably pop it up between us here. Yeah.
It looked intense, but I think we'll definitely give it a try, because I know that the Headless Engineer and I are pretty big fans, as far as he especially, of like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. So yeah.
Of Peg or Frost? Oh, he is in the Headless Engineer. Sorry, gotcha. Sorry, I was reading it wrong. I like them both. I really enjoyed Nick Frost because I started following him on social media and also watching him in Into the Badlands. I just like seeing him in that role, and they just seem like fun guys. Those two and Edgar Wright. So Nick Frost does a great walking through a cobweb impression or act. It looks incredibly realistic when he does it.
Yeah.
So
I am super pumped about Malcolm McDowell in this as well. Of course, he was in Clockwork Orange, which is one of those movies that I saw once and I will never watch again because it was so messed up. It was one of those that was
really nicely done. But yeah,
we were, I mean, like, such a good movie, obviously, but scared the bejesus out of me because it was so messed up. It was one of those movies. There was like grouping of them that I watched over the summer. It was 2003, and actually it was right when you and I were becoming like pretty good friends and when we were started to be co-hosts and stuff. And I watched that, and I watched Memento, and I watched Requiem for a Dream, like all in a row. And so I was messed up for like a month.
I have seen Memento multiple times. I have not seen the other two multiple times because I know my limit.
Requiem was a one and done for me, as was Clockwork Orange. I've seen Memento a bunch. I love that movie.
Requiem for a Dream, I watched that while staying at my grandmother's house, and I was very depressed.
Did Grandma watch with you?
No. That would have been horrible. But luckily, I was like, man, I just feel like crap now. But my nieces and nephew were holding a puppet show that day. So I got to be cheered up by watching puppets.
Yeah, that is definitely not one of those feel good.
No, it's
go
not.
Go out and have an ice cream cone after, man. Whew. Even that was rough.
Yeah.
But yes, I am really, really excited.
And here's your movie recommendation for the week. Requiem for a Dream. Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, don't.
Heroin.
Don't try this at home.
Not even once. Jeebus. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Diet pills. Not even once.
I love Malcolm McDowell, and I think he's going to be fabulous in this because I love how he just plays he's like very stoic, but like kind of creepy.
Now, what is this for? What again? Sorry.
He's in Truth Seekers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I was so excited when I saw his name. Again, it was in the stills, and I looked at him, and I was like, I know who that is.
Malcolm McDowell.
And I was like, oh, Malcolm. Yeah, which I love. You know me, I love a guy that's of a certain age, and he would be in that like range. So, anyways.
He doesn't look like Sting, but he's got a Sting thing going. That's what you like, the Sting thing.
The Sting vibe. Yeah, no, I've got
Sting vibe. Spike from Buffy and Angel.
Yeah, kind of. Like, definitely not my like normal
You're
sort of
wiry thing, white men with blondish, spiky hair.
Ding, ding, ding. Oh, snap.
She has the type.
Here we go. Ready? And I'm just going to do this.
And disconnection. Yeah. What is your tea?
Just going to casually sip this tea because we're not talking about that anymore. It's tip time with Rizzo. There you go.
We're trying to start an ASMR side of the channel. So if you would spew on the microphone one more time. Really let the flavor of the tea soak up through the sound into your microphone.
This is a 3D experience, folks. Yeah, actually, it's 4D, right? With the
4D
sounds, the thing. Yeah, okay, there you go.
Just like Shrek and the Terminator, they will reach out and touch you.
It's like, anyways, it's like I just want you to be able to taste this and experience this with me, and that's the best way that I could come up with.
Coming soon, scratch Smell-O-Vision cards.
So, are you drinking tea? I don't even want to know what you're drinking. Never mind.
No, it is actually tea. This is
Is it?
This is a Lipton tea. Have you heard of it? That I made in the sun in a jar.
Blasphemy.
Made in a jar with the sun, I should say. I'm not
so
Superman.
You just set it out there and the sun did all the work? Okay,
yep.
Fair enough.
But the ice cubes are the cat's pajamas tea that I had frozen last week.
Tea cubes.
So, yeah.
I'm so happy.
So, yeah, that's what I'm sipping on. What are you sipping on?
The tea I am enjoying today is called Margaret's Orchard, as I promised. And this is going back to another herbal tea.
Okay.
This time is because I think the last time I did, which one did I do? I think it was a rooibos tea.
Last time was
the red bush tea.
Yeah.
So this one is a tisane, and that is basically a tisane they consider just an herbal tea, quote unquote, where it doesn't have the tea leaves, so there's not the caffeine.
Okay.
This is, again, Margaret's Orchard. And tisanes in my world are all hibiscus based, and that's what makes them
hibiscus flower, correct? Or is it okay?
Yep. And they have this gorgeous pink color to them, so they're always going to be a really pretty pink color. And this particular tisane has raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries.
Okay.
So very tart, very tangy, has just a hint of citrus that you can taste in it, just that kind of sweetness and tartness. Fantastic. It's nice to drink a cup of tea and not feel like you're going to be wired, because this is completely caffeine free. And this is an excellent tea ice as well. But I'll give you one word of warning. Tisanes do not play well with milk. So don't ever put milk or cream in this tea, because the kind of the tanginess, the hibiscus, will actually curdle the milk.
Interesting.
It'll turn the tea a beautiful lavender color, and then you'll get little milk curdles at the top.
So if you want some protein bubbles.
It's nasty.
Tasty. Get that cream soda. So what was the name of Margaret's?
Margaret's Orchard.
Margaret's Orchard.
And I'm enjoying this just with a little bit of white sugar.
Okay. So, do you ever add anything additionally to any of your teas, or does it depend on the tea?
Yes, it depends.
Okay.
Absolutely on the type of tea. Even a lot of black teas, if they're not just kind of a straight traditional style where you're just getting like an English breakfast or a Ceylon or something like that.
Right.
It's you're going to want to do milk and sugar in those if you enjoy. Otherwise, it's kind of just like drinking that sort of really caffeinated, really stronger. But like for a scented black tea, even like those dessert black teas like we had before, they have so much sweetness in them that it just doesn't do it any justice to take away from the flavor, just adding more sweetness. And so like maybe a splash of milk on its own is great. And then the green teas, like we talked about last week with Hesperides, and I'm not sure if we even touched on this, but they're far too light for milk. Some people like just to put milk in their teas regardless, but you're just going to be tasting milk.
I could see that.
Really.
I've done that.
Just the green tea flavor, you'll get that finish, but you won't get, like for the Hesperides, you won't get the apple flavor, like the sweetness. And so traditional black teas, I am always for milk and sugar. Scented blacks, depending upon what the flavor profile is, I like them on their own, maybe just a little bit of milk, maybe just a tiny smidge of sugar. And then greens, nothing. And then the tisanes I like with just a smidge of sugar. So
groovy.
Same with the rooibos. Yeah, no milk, just a little bit of sugar.
A little touch of this and that.
Yeah, Margaret's is great though. Shortstop loves this tea, and it's also really nice iced. So
awesome. And next week I have a question for you. Steep, what's stopping me? That's the teaser. I'm going to leave it on.
I like how you said next week I have a question for you, and then you asked me the question. Is it next week already?
That's the teaser. It'll make sense on the Instagrams.
I feel teased. All right.
Awesome. All right. So we'll do a quick. Oh, yeah. You need to show your freak of the week here in a second. So yeah, who's your Animal Crossing?
Yeah,
Animal of the week.
Animal Crossing freak of the week.
Captive of the week.
That is spittle again. I'm sorry, you're enjoying the tea, folks.
The ASMR. What you just heard was some Margaret's Orchard splash onto the microphone.
ASMRIZZO.
That's dumb.
Freak of the week.
That's good, but that's silly.
I went with another boy on my island because I think that he's going to be one of the next ones to move because I'm going to ask him to. So I figured I'd get him in.
Decided out. So,
because remember how I told you about that drama between Spike and then Tia, the teapot elephant, and Mael, the new little duck? Yeah, Mael's already gone. She's already gone off the island. So I guess Spike and Tia, the OG couple, are meant to be. So my actual freak of the week this week is Cobb.
Cobb, okay.
And he's a boy. He is a jock personality, and he is described as a slime green pig. Doesn't particularly get the best rap. And then as you're seeing the photo here that Ryan's sharing, are you seeing this? Did you look at him?
I think I saw it earlier and I was just confused as to what exactly I was looking at.
I know.
Is it the thing that's like, oh, okay.
You know what? Hey, even if it's funny looking, it still needs love, okay? And he's so cute. He has these little beady, like, yellow and black glasses, and he always likes to wear, like, muscle tanks. And
I mean, he looks like Dr. Robotnik from Sonic the Hedgehog.
But in, like, a pig form? Yeah.
Part of himself with one of the animals on the island instead of turning it into a robot. Especially those glasses. I mean, even the little attitude he's got going on. I mean, I can understand why you would want this person to move off your island. I wouldn't want this person 50 yards within my house.
Some sort of paper they have to sign, and then they can't be within a football field's worth of your house. Yeah.
You see the chalk? I saw the chalk.
He's so cute. He's really funny. He's always like super concerned about his physique, which I think is hilarious since he's a pig, but that's neither here nor there at this point. And his hobby is writing and education. And I mean, I just think it's really funny when they sort of justify these things. Like when you walk into his house, he has like papers and crap like spread all over his room and everything. And I'm like, okay, education, cool. But
education has papers. Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, obviously that's very much clearly a habit of his. But I gave him a typewriter as a gift. As you know, I've told you I give like the daily gifts.
Because you're a giver.
That's right. I'm a big old number 2.
Number 2.
And
that's why you like Animal Crossing, because it's a game of managing and giving.
It's true. I mean, it's totally true. And it gets me in my little Zen place because I get to water my flowers and collect my things and look like I'm accomplishing something, even though it's on a screen. It's totally true.
Okay.
Anyways, that's okay.
We figured it out.
So I gave him this typewriter, and you would have thought I gave him that was like, here's $10 million. And it's inside of a diamond encrusted something. Okay. And he was just like freaked out. And I'm like, you're so cute. Get off my island now. Okay. So
here's a typewriter. I hope it doesn't sink the boat that we're going to send you out on. Have a good day now. Goodbye.
I had a boat on my island today.
And then I burned it down.
No, man, it was red.
Get off my island.
No, man, it was red. He's the one. I'll send you a picture of him too. He's the one that sells the art, but he's shady AF. And he has like 4 pieces of art, and usually only one of them is legit. And you have to look at it to decide if it's real or fake.
Ooh.
So he sells you the stuff knowingly, and it's like, thousands of bells you have to spend on these pieces. So, anyways.
Well, speaking of pork.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today, folks.
You and a friend have been doing a COVID cookbook of sorts that you've been calling it. Uh-huh. What recipe would you like to share? If you have one to share, if you feel comfortable sharing it.
I guess you're saying pork because it's like a recipe item. I want to hear about yours.
It doesn't have to be pork, but okay.
Mine's not pork.
No, mine's not pork either. It's just a,
Like, where are we going with this? All right.
It's a lame segue is what it is. Now that it's been brought out into the light.
It's like, do I have something?
Fine. Speaking of pork, last week we talked about ribs while you were staring at your pants the whole time.
She's over there. The other one's right there. They're very much both obeying and being good girls tonight.
Well, good.
I mean, today, I can't say. Yeah.
So one thing, I don't know if we'll figure out some way. If anyone wants these recipes, just contact us somehow, and we'll figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
But
comments, Insta, Twitter, any of those.
Do we have those?
Maybe. Anyways,
is slow cooker shredded buffalo chicken. Really easy to make. Basically take the one thing you have to think about, which as you should for most meals, of how much of this you want to make, because you can throw a lot of chicken into the slow cooker and not realize that it'll supply you for a good while, especially if like you are like me and the missus, there's only two of us, but it's basically you throw the chicken breast into the slow cooker, and I like to use
it's boneless. Basically.
Boneless, yes. I use boneless chicken breast. I'll say anywhere from 2 to 6 pounds, again, depending on what you are wanting to cook for.
Okay.
And then you'll add some Frank's hot sauce. You can do Frank's buffalo sauce if you want, whatever you like for taste. I would say an amount, but really I just sort of like to cover it in there. And then you let it go for any longer than all slow cookers are a little bit different, but I let it go for, if it's on high, for maybe 4 hours.
It makes sense. You don't want to get dry.
Yeah. Not so much dry, but I was really realizing, I didn't realize what I was doing to the chicken for a while, is I was cooking it too long and it became rubbery to where your teeth would kind of stick together and whatnot. So that's what you have to watch out for. It's like, weird.
That's not bad.
But yeah, really tasty stuff. If you add cream cheese, you can have more of a dip style with it.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And it goes great with beans. If you have like a cookout at work or something like that, done that a few times. Someone brought beans. We had this. We combined the two and had like some really good sandwiches and dip. So
you know what else it might go good with? Go well with? Homemade mac and cheese.
That does sound. It would. I would combine them. I would eat them. Mac and cheese does sound good. Is that your deliciousness of the day?
There it is. Yes, this is actually a family recipe of my bestie who is in Kansas. Her mom had this recipe that she created, and basically what you do is you take like a pound of macaroni, because this is a homemade mac and cheese. I mean, I suppose you could use a pound of some other pasta.
First, you get the flour and the dough to roll out the macaroni. Okay.
I really do love feeling like a gourmet cook, but with as little effort as possible, because I want to do like yummy meals.
That is very far. If you're going to go that far, you're really trying to impress someone, or you love cooking.
I mean, and I do, but like the headless engineer, helped me prep it tonight, and it takes a whopping, 3 minutes to prep the thing.
Awesome.
While you're like, it's a 9x13 pan. It's a pound of macaroni. It's 4 cups, so a pound of cheese as well. Which you're like,
what sort of cheese? Okay, shredded cheese.
Actually, that's the good thing. You can do shredded cheese, and it's as long as it's 4 cups of shredded cheese. It doesn't really matter what you could do. So you could turn it into like a pepper jack mac and cheese or Italian mac and cheese, whatever you want to do. Okay. We went with cheddar, like a medium cheddar. And then I just did a Colby Jack for more of the kind of cheddar taste, but not, super throughout. And then you use, and I'm not sure, this might be interesting. You may want to give it a try because you're at a very different altitude than I am, because I'm about 6,000 feet higher than you are. Or I guess you're high plains, so you're a little higher, but anyway.
You are higher, I know that. I just...
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We used 5.5 cups of milk and salt and pepper to your, like, season to your liking, basically. And so
real quick, so I can get my imagination going.
All right, let's do it.
Are you combining all of this into the casserole dish, or do you have like a larger bowl at first, combining stuff and then transferring to the dish?
It was one pan, man. That was it.
So
it was
mac, cheese, or noodle, cheese, milk.
Basically.
Fluff.
So what you're gonna do is, here comes Daisy. You melt the butter in the pan, in the 9x13 pan while it's preheating. So you've got that like heat element, but you're warming up the pan too. So then you pull it out. Once the butter is melted, dump the mac and cheese in, and you're mixing it up with the butter. So it's kind of coated in the butter.
Okay.
Before you dump the cheese on top, mix that together. And then once you can salt and pepper, whatever seasonings you're using. Like if you end up doing like a mozzarella and Parmesan, it would be awesome with Italian seasonings.
Sounds tasty.
But here's the thing though. Once you pour the milk over, and it looks like a ton of milk. And that's like the headless engineer is like, is this gonna be cheddar cheese soup stuff? But
delicious.
Don't touch it once the milk's poured on. You just put it right back into the oven, and don't cover it, nothing. And in about an hour and 15 minutes, you have this like perfectly crusty, like bubbly, like brown on top, crusty homemade mac and cheese. Is awesome.
And the dumb question, just to verify.
No, you're good.
The macaroni is dry. It is uncooked. Okay,
uncooked.
So that's
Straight
what the
from
milk
box,
is doing.
Right into the thing.
The milk is basically doing it, and everything else is, combining flavor.
Heat / cooking, right? Like a boiling kind of thing.
Steam,
and then
blah, blah, blah,
the
blah.
cheese kind of like melds into the milk when it's cooking it, so it turns into those like cheese sauce.
That sounds fantastic.
And it was not, there wasn't one drip of anything. It was perfectly tender. The noodles were al dente. It was awesome.
Sounds really tasty.
And I'm very excited that my bestie gave me this recipe, and thanks, Bestie's mom, for sharing it with her so that I could, because it was amazing, and I'll share it with you too. So.
That sounds great. Yeah, I will. I'm definitely going to do that.
$3.75.
$3.75, hour 15 minutes.
Give or take, hour 15, and
60
like closer to hours.
75 minutes.
Yeah, 62 minutes and 12 seconds, and then you're
depending on your range.
And then we did. I just steamed some broccoli on the side because I love like broccoli cheese, the conglomeration of broccoli and cheese. So I kind of just mixed it in with the mac. So it was like a broccoli cheese macaroni once it was all cooked up. So
can I make that on the grill and add a smoky element to it?
What, the broccoli or the mac and cheese?
The mac and cheese.
Maybe. Give it a try.
Maybe with indirect heating. More to come.
I was thinking about how the milk would cook up though. Maybe. You never know. But
experimentation one of these days.
It was really good.
It sounds great. I do want to try it. I'll probably do that soon.
It's like literally one of the easiest recipes I've ever done. When you pull out this giant, like this huge pan of delicious mac and cheese, and you're like, that is a keeper. And that is why it's in the COVID cookbook, kids.
Yay.
Really good.
Awesome. Well, I think that's all the stuff we've got to cover. About an hour and 15 minutes. You've got some sort of fun adventure coming up. And so
I know that's why we're not. Yeah, that's why we're not actually live on a Sunday.
If we were live, it'd matter even more, but it doesn't. Oh well. So
it's a-okay. Yes, I'm going on a little expedition. Groovy. And I will talk about it when I get back.
Ooh, fun.
Yes.
Well, as always, fun. Well, let me start hitting all the fun. I like to say fun a lot because it's a filler word. Fun.
All right, that's okay.
Fun. Eventually, I may have one of those midis just to play like, all right, here's our sound out.
And I know you were playing around with it, so I'm excited to hear.
It's really fun to play with. I think it'll be. I've enjoyed having it. I'm looking forward to playing with it more and learning some music and also just some fun beats, yo.
Awesome.
And it says on board. All right, we'll do the thumbs and then be gone. Ryan and Rizzo is a part of the Musing with McWillie Creative Network. Ryan and Rizzo have a Twitter. It's Ryan and Rizzo. Also, follow us on Instagram at, you guessed it, Ryan and Rizzo. To see the video of the podcast, go to mcwillie.com/video, and to hear previous podcasts, go to mcwillie.com/podcast. I like to do the blah blah. mcwillie.com.